Chapter 6, The Art of Being Sneaky. Can you spot the ninja? Ninjas were experts at fooling people. They often used simple, everyday things for their work. Sometimes they took a walking stick with them, as many other people did, but because the stick was hollow, they could hide poison darts or knives in it. It took just one quick flick of their wrist to send a deadly weapon on its way. Ninjas carried medicine boxes and held medicines for themselves and poisons for their enemies. Kazas. Straw hats. Japanese farmers often wore a large cone-shaped hat called a kaza. These hats were great hiding places for a ninja's knife or arrows. They also hid his face from view. Flutes. Wandering flute players were also normal sights in feudal Japan. They played long bamboo flutes called shakuhachis. Shakuhachis. Ninjas usually didn't make music with them. Some Japanese monks who played flutes wore hats like these, and the samurai wore ones made of leather or iron. Shakuhachis. They used them for blowguns that shot poison darts, or they banged someone over the head with them. Chalk and rice. If a ninja wanted to leave a message for another ninja, he wrote it on a wall with a piece of chalk. After the other ninja read the message, he could easily erase it. Ninjas could also let other ninjas know where they were going by dropping colored rice on the ground to make trails. Hiding in plain sight. Often a ninja's job was to spy on the enemy and report back to the person who hired him. When ninjas spied, they had to stay out of sight. Because they were so limber, ninjas could hide in very small spaces. They often curled up into a ball and slowed down their breathing so no one could hear them. They called this quail hiding because they looked like quails resting on the ground. Some stories say that ninjas prepared for quail hiding by eating quail eggs. Trees. Trees also made good hiding places. Ninjas would sit high up in the branches, hidden among the leaves, and stay there for hours. There are some stories that they tied their long sashes between the branches to make hammocks where they could rest without being seen. Underwater spying. Hiding underwater isn't easy. When ninjas needed to hide or spy, they sometimes hid in the water. They gathered up a water plant called duckweed and covered the surface of the water with it. The weeds hit their heads while they were in the water. Then ninjas could check on their enemies if they happened to pass by. All people saw was a pond covered in weeds. They didn't know a ninja's eyes were watching their every move. Disguises. Ninjas often wore disguises. Sometimes they looked like Buddhist monks or priests. Loose priest robes hid their weapons. Or sometimes they dressed up like women or farmers or flute players. Sometimes they seemed to be merchants with things to sell. If people met a man gathering wood in the forest, well, that could be a ninja too. You just never knew who was a ninja. Annie, is that you? The lantern trick. In 1558, a group of 48 ninjas got into Sawayama Castle by carrying lanterns they'd made to look just like the ones that soldiers in the castle used. Everyone was so confused that it gave the ninjas time to set fire to the castle and escape. Ninja business. Ninja families formed guilds or groups. Each family lived in a certain area and had its own ninja business. Depending on what they did, members of a ninja family had different ranks. A head ninja, or jonin, decided which ninjas should be hired and for what job. He gave orders to his assistants who planned how the work should be done. The ninjas who went on the missions were the genin. They were the lowest ranking ninjas and usually came from poor farming families. At times, the jonin sent his ninjas out to work in teams. They used special codes and passwords to communicate with each other. If the team climbed walls, they made a human ladder with their backs or by standing on each other's shoulders. If one ninja was dangerous, think how scary a team of ninjas could be. J and A ninja. Can hide like a quail. Will blow up anything. Can climb any wall. Ninjas for hire.